November 27, 1997, 9:30 a.m., Tijuana. A red Ford Explorer rolls through the Las Palmas neighborhood. Behind the wheel, Luis Valero, bodyguard. In the passenger seat, Jesus Blanco Ornelas, 61 years old, editor of Zeta magazine, the man who dared to publish cartel photographs. 10 gunmen step from the shadows. 180 bullets later, Valero is dead. 38 rounds in his body. He died protecting his boss. Blanco Ornelas survives. 4 bullets, lung, abdomen, buttock, hand. But there's another body at the scene. David Barron Corona, age 34, chief enforcer for the Tijuana cartel, leader of an American death squad, the man who ordered the hit, killed by a ricochet. His own man's bullet struck him above the eye. Thanksgiving Day, his family was waiting for him. Dinner on the table, several $100,000 cash in the house. He never made it home. This is how a parking spot murder in San Diego became a bridge between American gangs and Mexican cartels. This is how one man changed the drug war forever. (1979), Logan Heights, San Diego, 30th Street. David Barron Corona is 16 years old, born in Tijuana, raised in the barrio. They call him Popeye, short, stocky, built like a mailbox with arms that hang away from his body like he just finished lifting weights. He walks outside, sees a man sitting on his car. Most teenagers would have said something, asked him to move, maybe gotten loud. Popeye pulled the trigger. 1 shot, 1 body, 1 murder conviction, 16 years old. The judge sent him to prison. The system thought they were punishing him. They were educating him. Prison doesn't rehabilitate everyone. For David Barron, it was networking. Inside, he met the Mexican mafia, La M, the prison gang that controlled California's correctional system and taxed every Latino street gang in the state. They saw something in the kid who killed over a parking spot. Rage, loyalty, willingness to die for respect. They made him one of them. Mid-1980s, Barron walked out, free, connected, but not reformed. 1987, he went back in. Weapons charges, Arizona prison this time, and that's where it happened. Cell block, another inmate, Oscar Paez, brother of Arturo Everardo Paez Martinez. Street name, El Kitty, Tijuana Cartel. 2 men, 2 organizations, 1 conversation that would change the border forever. Paez saw what La M saw, a killer with discipline, an American who spoke Spanish, a soldier who understood both sides of the line. When you're locked up, you talk, you plan, you network. Barron was building a resume without knowing it. 1989, released again. This time, Tijuana was waiting. The Arellano Felix brothers ran the Tijuana cartel, nephews of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, the godfather who built the Guadalajara cartel before his arrest. When the old empire split, the Arellanos got Tijuana, the most valuable plaza on the border, straight shot into San Diego, billion-dollar pipeline. But they had a problem, war with the Sinaloa cartel. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman wanted their territory, wanted their roots, wanted them dead. The Arellanos needed soldiers, Americans, people who could move across the border without suspicion, gang members who understood violence but could follow orders. They needed David Barron. Within months of his release, Barron was in Mexico, not hiding, training, ranches outside Tijuana, paramilitary instructors, Mexican cops on cartel payroll, heavy weapons, AK-47s, grenades, military tactics. They taught him to be a professional. He learned fast. The Arellanos were impressed. This wasn't some street thug. This was a tactician, calm under pressure, smart, disciplined. They gave him assignments. Bodyguard work first. Stay close. Watch for threats. Protect the brothers. Barron proved himself quietly, efficiently. By 1992, 3 years after his release, David Barron Corona was a fixture in the cartel. Not just muscle, a trusted operator, the kind of man the Arellanos wanted nearby when things got dangerous. And things were about to get very dangerous. El Chapo was planning something, an ambush, birthday party, public place. The Arellanos didn't know when, didn't know where. They just knew Barron would be there when it happened. November 8th, 1992, Puerto Vallarta, the night David Barron became a legend. November 8th, 1992, Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Christine Discotheque, one of Mexico's most exclusive nightclubs. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, 300 guests in designer clothes, champagne towers, DJ spinning American hip-hop. Benjamin Arellano Felix is turning 40. His brothers are there, Ramon, Javier. Security spread throughout the crowd. David Barron among them. Just another birthday party for a multi-millionaire drug lord. Until it wasn't. 2:30 a.m. The music is loud. The crowd is drunk. Barron notices something. Men entering, moving wrong, eyes scanning, not dancing, not drinking, watching. Then he sees the uniforms. Federales, federal police, 40 of them, pistols drawn, shouting commands. Barron knows immediately. This isn't a raid, it's an execution. El Chapo Guzman had planned this for months. Revenge. The Arellanos had attacked his partner, Hector Luis Palma, killed Palma's wife, killed his 2 young daughters, killed them and disposed of their bodies. Chapo wanted blood. He sent 40 sicarios dressed as cops. The St. Valentine's Day massacre, Mexican style. They burst in shouting, "Federales, nobody move!" The crowd freezes, hands up, panic. Then the shooting starts. Submachine guns, full auto, spraying the club, bullets tearing through furniture, through walls, through everything. People screaming, running, dying. 8 Tijuana cartel members go down immediately. Bodyguards, enforcers, dead before they could draw. Most men would have run for the exits. David Barron ran toward the gunfire. He grabbed a weapon off a dead sicario, returned fire, dropped 2 attackers, 3. The element of surprise was gone. Now it was a war. In the chaos, Barron spotted the Arellanos, frozen, exposed. He moved, grabbed Ramon, shoved him toward the bathroom, grabbed Benjamin. The brother was obese, over 300 pounds. Barron physically dragged him through the crowd, through the bullets, into the bathroom, locked the door, gunfire hammering the wood. Most men would have called that a win. Hold up, waited for the shooting to stop. Barron looked up, saw a window, saw the roof. He pushed Ramon through first, then Benjamin. 300 pounds of drug lords squeezed through a bathroom window while submachine guns rattled outside. They climbed onto the roof, tiles slipping under their feet, could hear the massacre continuing below. Barron spotted a tree, branches reaching toward the building. They climbed down. Benjamin first, branches cracking under his weight, then Ramon. Then Barron. They hit the ground. Alley behind the club, and there he was, another sicario, waiting, machine gun raised. Barron had 1 bullet left. He fired. The sicario dropped. Barron grabbed his weapon, flagged down a taxi, told the driver to take them to the police station, but Barron didn't get in the cab with them. The local police commandante owed the Arellanos favors. Barron got more weapons, grenades, ammo. Then he went back to Christine, back to the gunfight, back to the bodies and the smoke and the screaming. Most men would have run. Barron came back. By the time Mexican army arrived, it was over. 6 to 8 dead, dozens wounded, blood on the marble dance floor. The Arellano brothers were alive, safe, because of one man. Benjamin Arellano Felix understood what he'd witnessed. Not just courage, not just loyalty. Combat instinct, the kind of soldier who runs toward danger, not away from it. He gave Barron a code name that night, Charlie, after Charles Bronson, the actor who played vigilantes, the man who never stops coming, the man who always gets revenge. They gave him a mansion in Tijuana, promoted him to chief enforcer, head of security for the entire Arellano Felix organization, and they gave him one order: build us an army, recruit soldiers like yourself. Americans, disciplined, trained, loyal. We're going to war with El Chapo, and we're going to win. David Barron smiled. He knew exactly where to find them: Logan Heights, San Diego, his old neighborhood. Late 1992, David Barron crossed back into San Diego, not as a fugitive, as a recruiter. He had a mission: kill Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, leader of the Sinaloa cartel, the man who sent 40 assassins to Christine. He had a budget, unlimited cartel money, and he had an offer: $500 every week, cash. In 1992, that was serious money for street kids in Logan Heights. Minimum wage was $4.25 an hour. These kids were making that in a month if they worked at all. Barron was offering $500 a week, plus bonuses, kill bonuses, and the grand prize, $1 million, plus a ranch in Mexico for whoever killed El Chapo. That's not gang wages, that's nation-state bounty money. Barron started with people he knew: Logan Heights, 30th Street, Barrio Logan. Mexican-American kids from immigrant families. Young, hungry, violent, but not stupid. Barron wasn't looking for crackheads or cowboys. He wanted soldiers. He recruited carefully: 30 core enforcers, dozens more on the edges. Jose Bat Marquez, Del Sol gang, Mexican mafia like Barron. Ruthless, reliable. Martin Corona, young, angry. Would later admit to 8 murders. Would later say, "I can see the monster I once was every morning in the mirror." Night owl, spooky, puma, cougar, Tarzan, street names, real killers. Gustavo Rivera Martinez, another Logan Heights soldier, would take over part of Barron's crew after his death. The pitch was simple: come to Tijuana. We'll feed you, house you, train you, pay you, make you rich. All you have to do is follow orders. They came in waves, crossing the border with nothing but backpacks. The Arellanos set them up in safe houses, food, lodging, everything provided. Then the training started. Ranches outside Tijuana, remote, gated, armed guards. The instructors weren't cartel thugs. They were professionals, corrupt Mexican police officers, men who knew tactics, surveillance, counter-surveillance, how to move without being seen, and someone else, a Middle Eastern man. The recruits called him the terrorist. Nobody knew his real name. Nobody asked. He taught them things Mexican cops couldn't: advanced combat, explosives. The equipment wasn't street level either: bulletproof vests, military grade, hand grenades, AK-47 assault rifles, night vision goggles, encrypted radios. They were building an army. But Barron understood something most gang leaders didn't: appearance matters. He gave them a dress code: dockers, polo shirts, neatly trimmed mustaches, no baggy pants, no gang colors, no visible tattoos. They looked like college kids, suburban, clean cut. A former cartel lieutenant would later say he never asked his employees to do anything he wouldn't do himself. Barron led from the front. He trained with them, ate with them, showed them how it was done. Discipline through respect, loyalty through fear. If you followed orders, you got paid, you got protected, you got rich. If you talked to cops, you died. If you stole, you died. If you disrespected the Arellanos, you died. Simple rules, clearly enforced. By early 1993, Barron had his death squad: 30 trained killers, Americans, English speakers, guys who could blend in on both sides of the border. They moved in cells, 5 or 6 men per team, different safe houses, different assignments. If one cell got caught, the others stayed clean. Professional, organized, deadly. The Arellanos were impressed. This wasn't the Mexican cartel model: flashy, loud, reckless. This was something new, quiet, disciplined, effective, and expensive. The weekly payments alone cost thousands. The equipment, the safe houses, the training, millions invested in Barron's operation. But the Arellanos didn't care about cost. They cared about results. They wanted El Chapo dead. Barron promised them he'd deliver. May 1993. Intelligence came in. El Chapo was in Guadalajara, moving around, vulnerable. Ramon Arellano Felix summoned Barron. Bring your men, we're going hunting. Barron assembled 20 of his best, loaded them into 5 vehicles, drove to Guadalajara. They searched for a week. Hotels, bars, restaurants, no sign of Chapo. Then, May 24th, 3:30 p.m., Guadalajara International Airport. A lookout spotted something. Green Buick, pulling up to the terminal. Target identified. Joaquin Guzman, El Chapo himself. Barron grabbed his rifle. His men did the same. 5 cars full of American assassins, hunting Mexico's most wanted drug lord in broad daylight at a public airport. What happened next would make international headlines and destroy everything Barron had built. May 24th, 1993, 3:30 p.m., Guadalajara International Airport. 5 cars in the parking lot. David Barron, 20 Logan Heights assassins, Ramon Arellano Felix, all armed with AK-47s, waiting. Intelligence said El Chapo Guzman would be arriving. White Mercury Grand Marquis. Drug lords loved that car. Comfortable, common, easy to disappear in. The lookout called it in. Green Buick, terminal entrance, target spotted. Barron and his men moved, rifles up, safeties off. Then someone else called out. White Grand Marquis, pulling into the lot. That's the car, that's the intel, that's the target. Barron opened fire, his men followed. 20 shooters, full automatic, AK-47s, spitting rounds at cyclic rate, 700 rounds per minute. The white car shredded, glass exploding, metal tearing, body panels shredding under the assault. Bullets sprayed wild, hit the terminal, hit civilians crossing the street. A woman and her nephew went down, bystanders screaming, running, chaos. The Grand Marquis lurched, stopped. The shooting continued, disciplined, methodical, making sure. Then silence, smoke drifting, brass casings everywhere, blood on the pavement. Barron and his men fled. 5 vehicles screaming out of the airport, gone before police arrived. Mission accomplished. Except it wasn't El Chapo. The driver was Pedro Perez Hernandez. 11 bullets in his body, dead at the wheel. The passenger was Cardinal Juan Jesus Posadas Ocampo, 66 years old, Archbishop of Guadalajara, second highest Catholic official in Mexico. 14 bullets at close range. From 2 feet away, he was wearing full clerical robes, black cassock, large pectoral cross hanging from his neck. Dead. 5 other civilians killed in the crossfire. 7 total. None of them El Chapo. The Mexican government called it mistaken identity. Wrong car, wrong man, tragic accident in a drug war. The Catholic Church said otherwise. Cardinal Posadas wasn't quiet about the cartels, spoke out against corruption, against politicians on cartel payrolls, against the drug trade poisoning Mexico. 3 weeks before his death, he told a childhood friend something. President Carlos Salinas had summoned him, threatened him. The Cardinal had evidence, links between senior politicians and the cartels, trafficking, prostitution, money laundering at the highest levels. He was going to expose it. Then he got 14 bullets from 2 feet away while wearing robes and a cross. Mistaken identity. That's what the government said. The church didn't believe it, still doesn't. But whether it was murder or mistake, one thing was certain. David Barron had just created an international incident. The United States exploded. A Catholic cardinal, assassinated by American gang members working for a Mexican cartel. $15 million bounty on everyone involved. Multi-agency task force, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, Customs, Immigration, IRS, Justice Department, all focused on one target. The Arellano Felix Organization. The Arellanos paid $10 million to the director of Mexican Federal Judicial Police, bought time, sent 2 Logan Heights members to take the fall. Ramon Spooky Torres Mendez and Juan Enrique Vasconez volunteered. Benjamin Arellano, Felix, paid their families $300,000 each. They surrendered, gave false confessions, said it was all a mistake. Spooky was murdered in jail before trial. Puma served his sentence. El Chapo wasn't even at the airport, but Mexico needed someone to blame. They arrested him 2 weeks later in Guatemala, charged him with the Cardinal's murder anyway. David Barron went underground. The heat was too intense. American assassins in Mexico, dead Cardinal, international manhunt. The Arellanos scattered. Ramon and Javier fled to Los Angeles, hid in Santa Monica. Benjamin went deeper into Mexico. Eduardo disappeared in Tijuana. Barron went to Rosarito, kept his head down, kept operating. The next 4 years, the bodies piled up, quietly, efficiently. Barron's crew worked in the shadows, but by 1997, the pressure was building again. November 15th, 2 federal judicial police officers gunned down outside the Tijuana courthouse. November 21st, Zeta magazine published the killer's name, CH, David Barron Corona's Tijuana nickname, Jesus Blanco Ornelas, the editor, 61 years old. He'd spent years exposing the Arellanos, published photos of Ramon Arellano Felix, detailed the Logan Heights recruitment. He just signed his own death warrant. 6 days later, Thanksgiving morning, David Barron had one more job. November 15, 1997, Tijuana Federal Courthouse. 2 federal judicial police officers step outside. Morning shift, coffee in hand, gunfire erupts. Both men go down, dead before they hit the pavement. David Barron's hit team, clean execution, no witnesses. November 21st, 6 days later, Zeta magazine hits newsstands. Weekly circulation, 20,000 copies. Front page story. 2 officers murdered. The article names the killer, CH David Barron Corona's Tijuana nickname, written by Jesus Blanco Ornelas, 61 years old, co-founder and editor, the man who'd spent 2 decades exposing the Arellanos, who'd published photos when no one else would, who detailed how American gang members became cartel assassins. He just put a target on his back. November 27th, Thanksgiving Day, 6 days later. Barron's house in Tijuana, family gathering, Gustavo Rivera Martinez there. Marco Arturo Quinones Sanchez, street name Pato, setting the table, turkey in the oven, waiting for David to come home. 9:30 a.m. Las Palmas neighborhood, half-mile from Zeta offices, red Ford Explorer, Jesus Blanco Ornelas in the passenger seat, headed to work, maybe the airport, sources vary. Behind the wheel, Luis Lauro Valero Elizalde, bodyguard and driver, experienced former police officer, loyal, professional. 10 gunmen stepped from the shadows, AK-47s, submachine guns, all opening fire at once. Valero reacted instantly, shielded Blanconelas with his body, returned fire with his service pistol, dropped one attacker. The bullets kept coming, punching through metal, through glass, through the vehicle. Valero took 38 rounds, 38, multiple hits, still fighting, still protecting his boss. He died on Thanksgiving Day, doing his job. Blanconelas took 4, lung, abdomen, buttock, hand, slumped in his seat, bleeding, alive. The Ford Explorer was hit 180 times, glass gone, doors shredded, engine block cratered. David Barron was there, commanding, orchestrating, making sure. His men kept shooting, reloading, shooting again. Then one round hit the pavement, wrong angle, physics. It ricocheted, skipped off the concrete, changed direction, upward trajectory, struck David Barron Corona above the eye, killed him instantly. Friendly fire, his own man's bullet. The shooting stopped. Barron was down. The crew panicked, grabbed their weapons, fled, left his body on the street. Marco Arturo Quiñones Sanchez, Pato, drove back to Barron's house, face bleeding, cut by flying glass, crying, told the family, "David's dead. We had to leave him." The Thanksgiving dinner went cold. Inside the house, federal investigators would later find several $100,000, U.S. currency, cash, hidden in walls, in closets, under mattresses. The Barron family took it, divided it, smuggled it across the border. His body lay in the Tijuana morgue for 3 days, unclaimed, nobody willing to identify him, too scared, too exposed. The fear he'd created kept his own family away. Jesus Blancornelas survived, 20 days in the hospital, 4 bullets removed, complications for the rest of his life. He returned to Zeta, kept publishing, kept exposing, lived under armed guard, 15 Mexican army soldiers, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 years. The embedded bullets never fully healed. Doctors said they contributed to the stomach cancer that killed him in 2006, but he outlived Barron by 9 years, kept fighting, kept writing. David Barron Corona, born 1963, died November 27, 1997, age 34, killed by his own man on Thanksgiving, half a mile from his target, the parking spot murderer, the prison networker, the Christine hero, the chief enforcer, the recruiter of American assassins, dead from a ricochet. Physics became justice. The man who lived by the bullet died by the bullet, just not the one he expected. David Barron died on Thanksgiving 1997, but what he built survived. The model, American gang members as cartel enforcers, military training, discipline, cross-border operations. Every cartel watched, every cartel learned. Logan Heights gang kept working for the Arellanos. Jose Bat Marquez took over operations, continued the killing until his arrest. Life sentence. Gustavo Rivera Martinez ran another crew. Arrested 2008, held 16 years, released 2024. The Arellano brothers fell one by one. Ramon, killed in a shootout with police. Mazatlan, 2002. Benjamin, arrested 2002, 25 years, still in federal prison. Francisco Javier, arrested 2006, life sentence. Eduardo, arrested 2008, 15 years. The Tijuana cartel shattered. Sinaloa took over. By 2011, DEA declared the organization annihilated, but Barron's blueprint remained. Recruit Americans, train them professionally, pay them well, move them across borders. Cartels still use it today. Barron proved it worked. The Cardinal's murder changed U.S.-Mexico relations forever, created permanent task forces, made cartel leadership a priority target. Jesus Blancornelas lived until 2006, 9 years after Barron. Stomach cancer. The embedded bullets never healed right, but he won, kept publishing, kept exposing, outlived the man who tried to kill him. David Barron Corona, the parking spot killer who became a legend. He changed the border forever. The game remembers.